all is well in the world right now. It's all going in my belly. Before I hop on my therapy session. Yesterday was not it for me. Post workout energy. It is 7:30. It's Monday and I ended up doing exactly what I wanted. We did core and upper body, and upper body basically turned into back and shoulders type of situation. And it was solid and I got to see my man, and all is well in the world right now. But I need to eat. I have rice here, which is enough for today, and I already have thought out chicken, but I'm trying to figure out what else, because I low-key don't want to make beans. I need some type of something to add with the white rice. I can't just have the white rice plain. I have the chicken here. I picked this up over the weekend. I have chicken breasts, and I was thinking, I don't know how, what the heck do I have in here? To be honest, beans just would hit. We're gonna make some beans. Talking junk and I'm still gonna make beans, bro. Let's do it. White rice, beans, broccoli, chicken, and it's all going in my belly. My new addition, my body armor. Let's do a first bite together. First bite, a little bit of chicken, a little bit of everything. Cheers. Hopefully it doesn't burn my mouth. Just what I needed. I swear I love this little setup for the camera, because I always end up putting you guys there. But it is Wednesday and I have about 6 minutes before I hop on my therapy session for today. I am 3 sessions in, so about a month. I'm doing bi-weekly sessions and it's going very, very well. This is something that will be beneficial to me long term, but I'm just so grateful to have someone that I feel like I can speak to, even when I may not be looking forward to it initially, whether it's anxiety or nerves or just, you know, today specifically, like I'm just kind of drained from work, but this is just another way that I'm showing up for myself, and I feel like it's kind of falls into this and what I'm documenting, and just mental health as a whole. Running has been blessing for me in disguise. When I started it, I didn't know that it would have the impact that it has had so far, and throughout the training it's really just giving me a way to just focus on myself and whatever may be going on in my life at the moment. It gives me, whether it's 25 to an hour block that I'm not thinking about anything else but just surviving the run, or sometimes it honestly gives me a chance to just like get a break from here. And therapy has allowed me to take what's here and let it out to someone that has no prior knowledge of who I am, or it's not biased. Just kind of give me, you know, different perspective and insight, and I know that I'll be happy that I did the call after the fact. It's just getting myself up there and starting to talk and all that.
So even if you couldn't do it this morning, you still did it at night, like in the evening, with everything against you. You still did it, so you gotta give yourself an applause for that.
Yeah.
You made up for yourself. You made up, like, talking to yourself, like, yeah, my bad. I couldn't do it this morning, but I'm gonna make it up for you. And you did it in the evening. You could have just took the day, but like, I'm going home, I'm not doing jack, and just be home depressed, but no.
Good morning. Today's the 21st, which means that we are 8 days out from my race, and as you saw, I included a little bit of my conversation with Mac, but we were talking for a good chunk post run, and yesterday was not it for me. Like, not the run wise. Once I actually got out and did it, I was so proud of myself for basically proving my thoughts wrong. But I was in such a negative headspace, and I'm really good about kind of navigating my thoughts. And what I mean by that is I've learned that just because you think something doesn't mean it's your thought, and you need to take ownership of that thought. And a lot of the times the enemy tries to plant little thoughts, I call them little darts in your head, to get you to start thinking about something, and you do the rest. You do the work. You start to let the thought sink in, and then feed on the thought and give the thought life, and then before you know it, one thought leads to another thought, and you start spiraling. And all he did was give one little nothing, basically a whole lot of nothing, and threw it at you and allowed you to do the rest. And I have spent a lot of time working through that and just analyzing the thoughts that I go through and trying to really see if that's something that I believe and want to take as my own, or if I'm just letting the enemy or others feed me thoughts and they shouldn't be a part of who I am and how I look at myself and how I think about myself. But yesterday was one of those days where I didn't have my armor on to be able to fight that battle the way I knew I could. And I didn't show up for myself. And from there, I just started to really talk down to myself in a way that I haven't done in so long. And it just fed into my day. And before I knew it, I was just thinking about myself in such a negative light. And I ended off my workday in like such a low point that I don't even know how I managed to get myself outside with all of the reasons as to why I felt like I could just stay home, but I did. And I went out for ended up being 58 minutes, and I ran the longest I've ever run, 4.5 miles. And I proved to myself all of the opposite of everything that I was thinking. And it's just crazy how powerful the mind can be to either talk yourself into something or talk yourself out of something. And reflecting with Mac yesterday, like, he just brought me back to reality a little bit, because I was just so worked up and frustrated with myself. And, you know, it just was the pep talk that I needed. Like, I texted him I needed a hug moment, and that's when he kind of knows, like, she's going through it.